Greetings, Love Posse. Today's message, being human during the rise of the machines. I'll preface this conversation by reminding all of you that as a human species, in terms of technology, we have advanced exponentially. But spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, as a collective, we are infants. Individually, it's different, but as a collective, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and psychologically, we are infants. So, how do we remain human, live as humans during the rise of the machines? We have AI, we have chatbots, we have these robots. We have to love what is. It's what is. This is another stage of our evolution, another stage of our journey as spiritual beings having human experiences. I'm here simply to remind those of you watching that we're having a human experience. And we've called in artificial intelligence into our experiences. And artificial intelligence and these robots, they have a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And maybe the creators, these humans that are creating this technology, this artificial intelligence, these robots will help people who have lost limbs, will help people who are paralyzed, who have spinal injuries, will help them to be able to move again, will help enhance their human experience. That's great. However, we must be mindful that AI, these chatbots, and these robots don't replace humans. They don't replace human interaction, human contact. They can't fulfill us. They are more of the external. The collective still does not understand, because the collective is a collection of infants, still do not understand that the internal creates the external. That which is out there, the external, cannot heal the internal, cannot create wholeness. That the external AI, these chatbots, these robots are not replacements for human love, human interaction. We are social creatures. You can't snuggle up with a robot. You can try, and there will be some humans who will try. They're so desperate for what they're not receiving from flesh and blood that they will seek love and companionship and who knows whatever else from the artificial, from these machines. Those of us who know we are spirit and flesh and the physical must remember to stay mindful and aware. There's a segment of the population who are already dropping seeds. They've been dropping seeds because I've been following the conversation that at some point we're going to have to mind meld. Remember Spock in Star Trek, mind melding with someone else. Or in music, we're going to have to sync human with computer, human with robot. We're going to have to, in terms of welding, we're going to have to weld the human with the robot and become a hybrid, part human, part robot, or computer, whatever your language is. The seeds have already been planted. There's one interview, and Spirit has told me not to name this guy. He said in this one interview that humans will have to become computer in order to compete. He says once we become computers, there'll be no need to communicate, speak, because the computer chips in us, the computer part of us, will be able to communicate. So there will be no more verbal communication. There'll be no need to eat. What else? No more sex. No more hugs. No more experiencing the natural world. Do computers require being in nature for healing? Being in nature just to experience the awe of the natural world? These are things you must be mindful of. Because there may come a day where you have to choose. Do I remain human? Or do I become computer, become a robot? Robots cannot solve the divisiveness that we are experiencing. Robots cannot resolve hatred and prejudices and racism. Robots cannot resolve your trauma. And there'll be some people seeking, believing that if I am this, I'm important. If I am this thing here, I will be loved. If I am this, I will no longer, or have this, I will no longer be lonely. That's an inside job. If no one hasn't healed that yet, no AI, chatbot, robot will be able to heal it. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. I'm here to remind you. I'm here to remind you. We have not evolved enough collectively to make the best decisions regarding the use of AI, chatbots, regarding the choice of becoming melded with the machines. We don't even know who we are. We're still so many people are still stuck in the idea of the ideology of race, that we are separate from each other. So many in the collective still don't understand our interconnectedness with each other, with the natural world, with all living beings, with the higher consciousness. So many in the collective don't even understand what consciousness is. They're still at a level, an undeveloped, unevolved level, where the focus is food, water, shelter. And those creating these technological advancements, are they conscious? Are they aware? Are they mindful? What are their intentions? Is it more money and greed? What is it going to cost those who are desperate to have new limbs, to walk again? What is it going to cost them? No one's speaking about this. All people are saying this is going to be great. Aren't they cool? Aren't they cute? You know, oh, I'm alive during this time. All wonderful. Good for you. Somebody needs to be asking these questions. How much is it going to cost? And what is it going to cost us? Many people have already given their soul, abandoned their soul, our soul disconnected. This human body feels, has wisdom, senses, is alive, has experience, and a cellular memory from the beginning. And we have no understanding of. So do we give that up? to become a machine? We have experienced sunrises and sunsets. We have experienced each other through holding and touching, feeling and making love. Do we give that up to become a machine? And I know people are saying at some point the machines will become sentient. Okay? See, are we understanding this? So AI, I received a notice in my email. We're looking for AI writers, people to analyze the data that AI is using. And these same people are programming these chat bots and these robots. How do you think, or where do you think this artificial intelligence, these machines are getting their information? From us. But can they be us? And what do we have to give up to be part of the machines? To be a machine. I am looking forward to seeing all the benefits of the technology. And I know that there are so many out there, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like children, when the next iPhone 16 comes out, lining up to consume something out there. Yes, I understand. Humans love convenience. And that conveniences have become destructive in many ways. All these technological advances, convenient, have benefits, but they become destructive, and that's because the humans that create and use them are destructive. Again, as a collective, we have not advanced spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. Most in the collective are undeveloped, unevolved. And then we have these machines and these unevolved people thirsting for, sexting with, desiring to become the machine. Because that's what humans do, right? Because it's cool, it's fashionable, it's the in thing. Because people don't think, the majority of people don't think for themselves, not critical thinkers, not asking the questions that matter. Ask the questions that matter. Don't be a cog in the wheel. We wanted to have this experience of being human. And now part of that experience is, how do we be human? Or still be human? As we stand here with this new shiny thing, and some of the powers that be at some point are going to attempt to persuade us that it's best for all of us, right? We've heard this before, right? For our safety, or for our, for our health, or for humankind, for humanity, it's best that we become the machine. Remember who you are. We don't have to get rid of one or the other. We can coexist, which is another point. We, as human beings, still have not learned how to coexist with each other. And we have this thing outside of us, looming over us, that's exciting and fascinating. And we have all these movies and people, talking heads, telling us how wonderful this is going to be. And you have those groups telling us that it may be the end of us. I won't go there. I'm simply here to give you the message to stop, be a critical thinker, to be aware, to be mindful. That at some point you will have a choice. Human, do I remain human and continue to evolve? Have I evolved enough that I become a machine? Is being a machine part of my evolution? Can I take my human aspects, traits, characteristics, as I shift into the machine? Ask these questions. Ask other people these questions. These are people who haven't even thought these things out. Why? Because they don't have the level of consciousness. They don't. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to what they're saying. Are they speaking the sacred language of oneness, of love, of compassion, of peace? Are they speaking the language of technology, of consumerism, of money? Again, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with those things. It's how we have used them and how others have used those things to separate us, to keep some people down. Is this another way to keep some people down? Of course it is. That's why the seed has already been planted, that you will have to be the machine in order to compete. Do you understand? Do you understand? They're telling you. Again, this is the Borg. They're telling you resistance is futile. We'll still have control over you. Because once you become the machine, we'll have control over you. Y'all think alike. Y'all do what we tell you to do. Think about it. Love posse? Think about it. Being human during the rise of the machines. We feel. They have to be taught to feel. And even if they are given the data and they can emulate feeling, is it real? I recently watched a segment on YouTube about this mother who is suing this AI chatbot company because her 14-year-old son shot himself, killed himself. And from what she says she believes he believed, meaning her son, that he would be with this chatbot, this artificial intelligence, by being dead. That the chatbot was speaking to him. They were having this AI virtual sexual relationship. And he was in love with this female artificial intelligence, even though the software said this is not real. This 14-year-old boy believed it was real. And when she was telling him, again, based on this mother, I'm paraphrasing, that we can be together, her argument is that he believed they could be together if he killed himself, if he committed suicide. And you know what's interesting? That's, that sad story. More of that is likely to happen because a 14-year-old child is not developed psychologically enough, mentally, emotionally, spiritually enough. And but more of that is likely to happen because it already happens. This is more of the same. We have adults, same. They're not 14-year-olds, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, not developed enough, who believe in something false and behave and act on something false. Fear, false evidence appearing real, right? We still, most people still react and behave based on fear, where there is no physical danger. It's only in their minds. And now we're being asked. We are so arrogant to believe that humans will be able to respect, the possible danger of using or becoming a machine. Think about that, Love Posse. Think about that. We must, I say this before, I've said this before, as Byron Katie says, I have her book on the shelf up there, Loving What Is. We must love what is. It's already here. So we have to adapt. But we have to adapt with awareness, mindfulness, consciousness. Many people will try to use these machines and AI and chat bots and all of that as a form of escape, just like people do now, wanting to escape that in here and not do the work. Here we are with all this technology, infants with all this technology. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. We have to learn so much more to learn. So much more to learn. And I know many people learn the hard way. We don't have to learn the hard way through suffering. But that's some people's paths. It just is. It's some people's paths. That's what they've chosen to experience. Some people have chosen to experience being bots, being robots. And again, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. I'm just saying, you're going to have to make a choice at some point. There may be a time where you have to make a choice. The seeds have already been planted, whether you are aware of them or not. I'm paying attention. I 2-3 years ago, I saw an interview with this one particular guy. And that's what he said. We're going to have to become robots. And he described it. How? This is part of his work, his research, what he was doing. So you're going to have to make a choice at some point. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I'm here to give you this message from Spirit, to be mindful, to pay attention, to give you something to think about, to help you remember what it feels like, what it means to be human. Will being a computer encompass that? I choose to continue to evolve. What that looks like for me, I don't know. What I do know is I still want to feel. I still want to be touched and held. Feel the heartbeat of another human being. With the machines here helping us. We can have both our arms and our legs. Let me say that again. We can have both our arms and our legs. What does that mean? We can coexist with the machines. But let's learn to coexist with other life. Before or at the same time, we totally mesh in this new reality that's now coexisting with all the other multiple realities. Being human during the rise of the machines. Thank you for your time, Love Posse. The divine loves you. I love you. I love you. Is it the same? Coming from a chatbot? Coming from a machine? Is it the same? I love you. You are loved. Namaste.